Okay, so I can just start? Hi, I'm Rosemary. I'm co-coordinator of the gardens with Isabelle. Since we're co-coordinator of the gardens, it means that we have gardens here at Vanier, and they're pretty amazing. So as part of our job description, what we do is that we organize workshops, class visits, we take care of the gardens, ensure that they grow beautifully and that they produce. We also look for funding and for volunteers, which is what I prefer. The pleasure of interacting with the students in the gardens and to show you how to take care of them is what I like the most.
Bonjour. Pourquoi je dis bonjour? Comment je commence? Bonjour, mon nom est Isabelle Rivet, je suis professeure de français ici au Cégep Vanier et je suis co-coordonnatrice des jardins collectifs avec Rosemary. L'aspect qui m'intéresse le plus, c'est tout ce qui concerne le développement durable. Dans le cadre d'un de mes cours, j'ai des étudiants qui ont déjà créé un hôtel à insectes pour favoriser la biodiversité ou qui ont créé aussi un récupérateur d'eau de pluie. Pour l'avenir, j'ai un tas d'idées, un tas de projets. Donc, si vous êtes intéressé, s'il y a des choses que vous aimeriez réaliser, n'hésitez pas à venir me rencontrer. Ça va me faire plaisir d'essayer de voir ce qu'on pourrait faire ensemble.
Hi, my name is Eliel Pelletier. I'm a student gardener here at the Vanier Gardens. My job consists mostly of watering the plants here and cutting down some weeds, but I also translate documents and make documents for volunteers that sometimes come in to help us do stuff. I heard about it when I was volunteering for the planting day in early June, I believe, where we were planting a lot of things here, like the plants you see all around me. And yeah, so Rosemary told me about it and I was interested, so I decided to send my resume, and then she contacted me back for an interview and I got it. I really like the variety of plants we have here, so I really like learning about them and being able to identify them. I also like the herbs and spices, specifically taking some home sometimes because I'm allowed to. So I'll make Moroccan mint tea with the mint we have in the mint box over there. And sometimes I'll make chamomile flavored pastel de nata, which might be a bit scandalous, but it's still good.
I try to make sure that there is, I already. Can we restart that? Hi, my name is Lawrence. I am the student guard coordinator for the summer. My task around the garden is to not only maintain it, but to also promote the vision of our gardens. As such, I enact the plans that we made in the past about which direction the garden should be heading towards, but I also plan for future ones. In addition, I also ensure the communication between our volunteering team as well as our lead gardener to make sure that everything happens as smoothly as possible when there are activities on the grounds of the gardens.
Hi, do you want to be a gardener? Right, so hello there, my name is Mark. I am the lead gardener here for the gardens, and it is my responsibility to give direction to the gardens, check in with the team, make sure they know what to do on a daily basis, as well as lead walking tours and workshops, teaching folk how to transform these wonderful plants into delicious foods, healing medicines, and any other goodies that we might be thinking of in the moment. I really enjoy working here at the gardens, particularly focusing on bringing more biodiversity to our campus, moving beyond the more traditional tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers, and bringing back a more ancestral knowledge, focusing on what a lot of people would think of as weeds, and really learning how to use those again like our ancestors once did before us. I am standing here in front of what we call the main section of our gardens. Here we have our nice crescent here of a mix of pollinator, edible and medicinal species. Behind me we have our herb spiral, where we're growing a variety of different flowers as well. And moving on to here, we have a section filled with vegetable boxes. Here we're focusing on growing more common vegetables, but demonstrating other ways of growing them. As well as a very tasty mint box over here and a little miniature greenhouse as well. I am here in our outdoor educational pergola. This was created to provide an outdoor educational space for students in the gardens, as well as a nice social area to come and hang, eat your lunch, enjoy nature for a little quiet time. We are working on improving this space, adding more plants, adding more shade cover, and it is also available for bookings for your class or for student societies and activities. Just send us an email and you can talk to us about using this space for your own purposes. Here we are at the Vanier Gardens Permaculture Food Forest. As part of Vanier's 50th anniversary last year, we planted 50 trees around campus, 20 of which we placed right here. We have such fruiting trees as pears, plums, and apples, to name a few, as well as nut-producing trees like pecans, acorns, and black walnuts. Eventually, you can see we've started with one section here. We're going to have 7 different layers of food in our food forest, going from the mushrooms and the roots to climbing vines and under and over story trees as well. And eventually, this will require very little input from us, a little bit of weeding here and there, but we are literally growing our own pesticides and growing our own fertilizers to keep these trees nice, healthy, and happy, and producing food, ideally, for the next 75 to 100 years. I am standing here in front of the sports complex, and this is what we call our vegetable planter. The biodiversity one is just around the corner there. This has always traditionally been a more productive part of our gardens. We get full sun and there's very few squirrels and groundhogs around to eat our produce. We have your traditional tomatoes, peppers, basil growing here, as well as a handful of perennials like black currants and the lilies over there. We also have some more alternative styles of growing. This used to all be plastic culture with sheets of black plastic with the plants growing through. We've removed a lot of that now, and we're using more wood chips and low growing weedy species that help kind of perform the same purpose as the black plastic was before. Here, for example, I can give you a beautiful example of our Three Sisters Guild. We have some indigenous corn species growing here, along with some beautiful squash, and then our beans are slowly starting to grow up the corn here. The idea that each plant performs an ecological role and supports each other in the process. Not the birds and the bees. The birds don't do hummingbirds do, eh? Have you ever seen a hummingbird here? No, never mind. Okay. Here I am standing in front of the pollinator section of our gardens. We are not the only species taking food from the gardens, so we like to dedicate a corner for the bees, the moths, the butterflies that come here. You will see behind me we've got a whole wide variety of pollinating species, including yarrow, milkweed, we've got a flowering rue, flaxseed, a whole bunch of different flowers that provide food for our gardens and the insects that live in it. The idea being that the more insects we have here, the better in balance our gardens are, and the less we have to do the weeding ourselves as we let the other insects come and eat those that we don't necessarily want on our plants.
Okay, so I don't know what to say for the outro. What's our message?
We hope to see you at the gardens.
We hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope you're gonna come and join us at the gardens. We need volunteers for the gardens to survive. Even if you don't have any experience, it doesn't matter. We'll support you, we'll help you, we'll teach you. So to connect with us, you can email us or find us on social media. We hope to see you at the gardens. Is that good?